Okay, so we've got a macro called import file which successfully imports any text file of any name. But when I look at the text file, the information is not completely filled in. For example, I have labels missing. I would like to see the state continued down and not see empty cells. I'd like to see the channel continued down and not see empty cells. So now we're ready to make our second macro. And our second macro is to fill in the blanks with what's above. For this, I'd like to record a macro, so I'm going to go to the Developers tab and click the Record Macro button in the Code group, and I'd like to name the macro Fill Labels, one word. I'm not worried about a shortcut key, and I'm not worried about a description, so I just click OK. And I can see in my Visual Basic Editor that I now have a sub-procedure called Fill Labels. What I'd like to do is select all the blank cells. And the quickest way I find to do this is to first of all select the whole range, and I'm going to use Control Asterisk. Now I use the asterisk on the number pad, but if you don't have a number pad, you'll have to go Control Shift and the 8 because the asterisk's above the 8. So I'll go Control Asterisk to select the current region, and I can see that statement here that the current region is selected. And then I want to go to the blanks. So I'll press the key combination Control G, which is short for Go To. When I press Ctrl G, I have a special button, and if I click the special button, I can ask it to go to the blanks in this range here. So I'll click OK. And here's the statement here that it's selecting special cells and they're blank cells, and I can see just the blank cells are selected. Now I'd like to put a formula in that basically says that each blank cell is equal to what's above. So I press the equals key, and then I press the up arrow key on my keyboard. Equals up arrow. I don't press the enter key now because that will just populate one cell. I press the key combination Control Enter, and that fills in all the cells with what's above. And here's the formula here, which basically says it's up one row and no columns. Now what I'd like to do is turn all those formulas into values because I need the results, the values, not the actual formulas. So I'm going to press Control Asterisk again to select the current region. And again, here's the statement here to select the current region. And I'm going to take a copy of all this information. So I might press Control C to copy. And here's the statement, selections copied. Now I want to paste the values. So here I might go to the Home tab in the ribbon, hit the drop down on the Paste button, and click the Values button. And so I basically pasted the values over the top of the formulas and dropped the formulas. To get rid of the wiggle, I'll press the Escape key. And the statement for that is the cut copy mode has been turned off, so the wiggle's been turned off. I'd then like to finish sitting in the cell A1, so I'll click on A1. And here's the statement that the cell A1 has been selected. So now I can stop recording my macro. If I go to the Developers tab, I can choose Stop Recording. What I'd like to do now is run the import file macro and import the December 2000 text file. So I'm just going to click on the import file procedure in my Visual Basic Editor, and I'll press F5 to run this particular sub-procedure. When I press F5, I'll choose December and I'll choose Open. And it's immediately brought December in. Now I want to run the second sub-procedure, which is to fill my labels. So I'll click on the Fill Labels sub-procedure, and this time instead of F5, I'll press F8 to step through the code. When I press F8, I can slowly step through each statement. So it's selected the current region. If I press F8 now, it'll select the blank cells. If I press F8 now, it'll populate them with a formula that says what's above. If I press F8 again, it selects the whole region. F8, it'll copy. F8, it pastes the value. F8 turns off the wiggle, and F8 again selects a cell A1. And I'll press F8 again so that the yellow highlighting disappears, and I've finished the sub-procedure. So that's our second macro, or second sub-procedure, which is to fill the labels.